Hello, everyone. My name is Claude9, and I'm your coach for the Hartford Wailmers. And I'm here to go over my picks for the Pucl Draft League. So, without further ado, let's begin. Having the 5th overall pick in the draft, I really wanted a Pokemon that was very versatile, that could be defensive, offensive, provide utility if I need it, pivot out, can basically do whatever I need it to do, and, well, had good typing to begin with. And so I went with Jirachi. Now, Jirachi can do absolutely anything in this format. I think it's one of the best non-mega Pokemon out there. It can be physical, it can be special, it gets the incredible ability of Serene Grace, so watch out for all those like Body Slam, Iron Head flinchings, because it's going to happen, and you're all going to hate me for it, but I mean, that's just what Jirachi does. But Jirachi can do absolutely anything. It can be run Choice Scarf, Band, Specs, it can set up. It has, and with 100 base stats all across the board, it is fantastic. There is really nothing wrong with this. Plus, it gives me a Steel type. And after I picked up Jirachi, I was thinking, okay, what do I want to pair this with? And my original thought was, okay, go for the Steel, Dragon, Fairy core, and go from there, and see what else shows up. So I was thinking, okay, I would like a Dragon next. And I'm thinking, okay, what could be available? Salamence, maybe, potentially Dragonite, Garchomp. No, none of those were available. But somehow, Kyurem Black was available. Now, I don't know how this monster got through like 40-something picks to get back to me, but it was there. And I'm very thankful to all of you that it was, because I love Kyurem Black. Having what is, I think, 700 overall base stat total, and then combining with 170 base attack, this, you're not going to be living many hits. Especially if I run like the ICMZ Freeze Shock, max attack, something is going to die. Either that, or if it somehow survives, it's going to survive after taking like 70-80% of its health, and at that point, what else can you do? It's a great wall breaker, and it fits in with my core of the Steel, Dragon, Fairy that I really wanted to go with. And it has a bunch of really fun things you can do with Kyurem Black. It has its own way of setting up with like Hone Claws and whatnot, and has a great ability in Terra Volt, so I will be ignoring all the other abilities out there. So, with having those two, I really needed my Fairy type. And I thought long and hard about what I wanted for a Fairy type, because there wasn't one that spoke to me immediately. But I eventually settled with Florges. Now, I love Florges. Florges it's a massive specially defensive wall that can also take physical hits. It can provide wish support, aromatherapy, heal bell, synthesis. It's the utility mod that I needed. It's a great tank. It can set up Calm Minds as well. It gives me a really reliable Fairy type that I get to use. Plus, it gets some fun coverage moves, and there's some couple cool things. I know there will be a couple times where I bring offensive Florges, because, I mean, wasting this 112 base special attack, it's not my thing. Gotta use it all. So once I realized, alright, I have my Steel, my Dragon, my Fairy. What's next? What do I really need? And I thought to myself, I would really like to have Spikes, or Toxic Spikes. Yeah, that'd be a great thing to try and get. So I picked up Roserade, because Roserade gets both Spikes and Toxic Spikes, and also gives me another really powerful special attacker, and special defender at that point. So Roserade, one has having Grass Poison, which is adequate typing. I mean, I really like the Poison and Grass part of it, but I mean, it gives me the weaknesses to Fire, Flying, which I'll cover later on, and it works really well with Jirachi, because a lot of things that Jirachi, I mean, the only weakness they share together is Fire, and I think the occasional Earthquake might do some damage to both of them. But other than that, you can take the Ice and Flying hits and brush it off. But Roserade gets to be run both especially offensive, or I can run utility entirely, and it gives me a lot of really cool options, especially with the abilities of Technician and Natural Cure. So a lot of cool things I can play around with on Roserade. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to use it. After that, I noticed a bunch of the bulky water types were going, and I'm like, alright, I need to grab mine now before somebody else takes it, and I went with Gastrodon. Now, I will be trying to use Gastrodon East as much as I possibly can because I love how the blue and green works together. It also fits with my team colors very, very well, versus the pink and brown. But I love Gastrodon. I've been using Gastrodon competitively as much as I can since, I think, X and Y pre-bank. And this thing is a monster. It can be any sort of defensive typing that you want because of its 111 base attack, base HP. And, besides having a weakness to ground, which the rest of my team eats up, it works really, really well. It gives me a clear smog user if I need it. It can recover. It can run varying attacking moves if I need to. It can even curse and set up. It has a great ability. Gives me a water immunity. Gives me a electric immunity, and really overall fits really well with the team, covering a bunch of weaknesses that I was already having. Now, after Gastrodon, I was looking and I'm like, I need a defogger because I need some way to get rid of hazards of any kind. And I was thinking I would like something that's a little more on the physical side of bulky so that I can take some hits. And I wound up with Gligar. Now, Gligar was not something I originally thought of. I'm like, oh, you have Gliscor. But Gligar is almost just as powerful as a tank because of the Eviolite. So you take this massive 105 defense that gets boosted to some crazy number, and then can take so many hits and just eats things because it gets Roost, it gets Defog, it's another Stealth Rocker, I can pivot in and out with U-Turn. It gets the ability Immunity, so it can't be toxic, which is fantastic for a defensive Pokemon, and just has a bunch of other really fun, cool things. I say that a lot because I don't want to give away everything, a bunch of my secret tech, but just generic stuff you can look this up on by looking through the movesets of all the Pokemon. But I really like Gligar, and I think it looks really cool. I'm going to try and see if I can find a way to get a shiny one so that it fits the blue and the green, kind of. But we'll see. That is Gligar. I love him. He's so much fun. So next was my 7th round pick. And originally for my 7th round pick, I had picked Manectric. Now, I had picked Manectric, and then I think a day or two after draft was done and free agency was open, I dropped Manectric. So I originally picked it because I wanted a strong special attacking pivot Pokemon that can cause havoc. But, it was electric type. Fast electric types are supposed to be very good in draft format. But it just wasn't fitting well when I started team building and looking at it. And I'm like, there's another Mon I'm looking at that I really, really like that I want to use. So, I'm sorry, Manectric. Maybe another time. Your Mega Form will always carry me and OU, though. Rest in peace. So, I went after Manectric. I grabbed Hitmonlee. Now, I was looking at I need a fighting type. I want a strong fighting type that can do a crazy number of things. And Hitmonlee was sitting there, and I'm like, yes, I have to get Hitmonlee. It gets a bunch of fun moves with both high jump kick, close combat. It gets priority with Mach Punch, Fake Out, I think Bullet Punch, and Sucker Punch. Gives me a great priority. It can Rapid Spin. Gives me another rapid hazard remover if I need it. And has abilities like Unburden and Reckless and Limber. So depending on what I'm up against, I can fight against what I need to with this guy. Not to mention having very strong attack, because I realized I didn't have a very strong physical attacker before Hitmonlee, besides Kieran Black, and I'm like, alright, I should probably fix that. And Hitmonlee just seems to fit everything I want. Gives me a reliable knockoff user, and that was another thing I was really looking forward to. So, coming into round 9, I was thinking, alright, there's one other person who has not picked their S-tier Pokemon yet. And what are the odds they're going to take mine? And I didn't know. I looked at their team, and I'm like, it's possible they could. I'm just going to avoid it and take it this round, because I picked before them, and just call it a day. Because I've been planning to use Mega Houndoom since the beginning. Because my original plan was, alright, you can grab Jirachi, a Dragon type, Fairy, all that stuff, and then just leave your Fighting and your Dark type to the very end, because no one's going to pick Mega Houndoom. Why would you? It's not that. A 115 base speed, 140 special attacker, That's nothing, but it's actually scary. This Pokemon is absolutely nuts. If you don't have a good switch in for it, your team is going to slowly get obliterated. And I mean, while not having the best type of coverage, I mean, you get Hidden Power, you get Dark Pulse, Fire Blast, Flamethrower, um, and like besides that, that's pretty much what you run. And then you run like you can run other things like Taunt, Super Fang, uh, Hidden Power, Psychic, because why not? And especially if I can get things that can set up the sun, which I do have. Now solar power becomes a thing, and not much wants to take a Fire Blast in the sun with the ability solar power. That's gonna be nuts, and I hope no one lets me do that. I'm gonna try to do it, but I mean, I hope they don't let me, because that's just not gonna be fun to see Mega Houndoom click Fire Blast and slowly watch everyone go away. But after that, I went into my last round thinking, alright, I just need something that can cover some weaknesses that I have, and overall just sort of sit there, eat some hits, and fire back some powerful attacks. And I ended up with Bouffalant. Now, Bouffalant is awesome. I absolutely love Bouffalant. Besides having just being a great normal type in itself, which at that time of the draft I didn't have, and I'm like, alright, maybe having some sort of like good ghost resist or something might be useful. But I grabbed it because of the Reckless. It gives me abilities of Sap Sipper to give me a grass immunity, which is really cool to pair really well with my Gastrodon, and also gives me Soundproof. So if I know things like Boom Burst or Hyper Voice are going to come, Bouffalant can sit there and eat it. And it has very good bulk overall. Besides the fact that it's a little slow, it can sit there, it can take hits, and it can dish out a lot of damage. Especially if I do run the Reckless with Head Charge. I mean, I'm going to try and pick up as many kills as I possibly can with a head-charging Bouffalant, because I think that just looks really cool. I mean, who doesn't love the Afro? I love the Afro. So, as I said before, I dropped Manectric, and I picked up Swellow. Now, Swellow is a monster. And I never realized just how powerful Swellow was until I started running some calcs. So I was comparing Specs Manectric to Specs Swellow, and Specs Swellow eats everything. Like, there's not many things. You have to resist the Boom Burst or the Hurricane or the Heat Wave to not get to it KO'd. And that's just ridiculous. Plus, it gives me a 125 base speed Pokemon, which was in a very fast tier that I did not have. I don't have a lot of the slower ones, but I have a lot of very fast Pokemon. And that's what I like to build around. I like being fast, I like being offensive. But if I need to, I also like just sit there, take the hits, sponge some attacks, and then wait till I can get one of these fast creatures in to just sweep the end of the game. Now, I also don't have to run a special Swellow. I can run the Guts Facade with the Flame Orb, and suddenly that now becomes incredibly powerful, because it still has a nice 85 base attack, which is better than its special attack, and it gets the boost from Guts, the boost from Facade. This thing can hit physically hard and especially hard at the same time, and that's great, because it becomes a nightmare for people to prepare against, because they never know what I'm going to bring, and they don't know what they're doing themselves. So, I'm sorry, Manectric, but you are gone. So, if you've noticed, on my team, I've named everybody after a song or artist or something that I really enjoy, I think really fits. So, those of you that seem to watch this, take your best guess at guessing, but I'm going to try and nickname all these for the actual matches if I can. I'm not sure if I have a way to nickname my Jirachi anymore, but Jirachi, it would be Run Around the Jirachi. We have Don't Stop, the Kyurem Black. We have Buttercup, the Yellow Florges. We have Kiss Froma, the Roserade. We have Uptown, the Gastrodon, East. We have Hurricane, the Gligar. We have Pumped Up, the Hitmonlee. Ain't Nothing, the Mega Houndoom. Trapped, the Bouffalant. And Rockin' Robin, the Swellow. And that is the team for your Hartford Wailmers. We're going to take it all this year. So be afraid and let's have some fun. Take care, everyone.